just bubbling.
Yeah, match up there where it looks as though Will Thurstwood's got Riewoldt and Luke McGuan's got the job on Fraser Gehrig.
Hayden Kennedy, the veteran, sets them in motion. A very big game. And the first takeaway, tapped to Richardson. Well, this could be a dream start for the Tigers. Has it been snared? It hasn't. Well, it was a heavy collision and Jason Graham took a while to pick himself up and looks just a little dazed. What a tremendous break that was by the Tigers.
Had a fair piece of that. Mark Vossi and Richo on the wing. He looks fantastic up there, doesn't he?
Sure does. Just sitting behind the contest too.
Morton, who's been in good form, he's kicked goals in each of the last 4 games since breaking into the Richmond lineup. Not quite able to hang on to that mark.
Just be nervous starting on Richo on the wing, won't you? Because you know he's going to run forward as hard as anyone possibly can, and just trying to hand over. Here he is on screen.
So Charlie Gardner saying he's not mine now as he goes up the ground. Michael Gardner in the ruck for the Saints. Not an easy takeaway, Richmond having the better of it. But still it's inconclusive. Milne, good work down the back to Del Santo. Promising stuff for the Saints. And now Charlie Gardner. And Luke Ball and Riewoldt. Very wide. Saints can mount their first attack of the night. And Milne following up from out of defence. Michael Gardner to burst. Nothing there. And guess who? What a good start. The everywhere man, the Richo man, Hutto.
Thank you, Tim. Really looking forward to this game. Riewoldt versus Riewoldt tonight, of course, for only the second time. Jack doing a bit of umpiring there.
Well, it'll be interesting because at the moment Sam Fisher is loose for St Kilda, so it's pretty obvious that when Richo goes forward, that Sam Fisher will be the man who will take him.
Oh, Tuck, it's been a ruckman at times due to the dearth of ruckman the Tigers have had, but couldn't control it that time. Hayes makes the escape. Raf Clark, the late inclusion, and here's Fisher loose again. Can be damaging. Tries to, well, I don't know what he was trying to do. Jack King didn't complete the job, and Milne knows what he has to do, which is kick goals. So Milne puts it through. Jack King, who has leaked some goals this year, been a very good player as well at times.
Well, he started with a clanger in round 1 against Carlton, remember, and finished up best of field.
Well, he's just started with another great clanger tonight because that's just a mark you've got to take. And Stephen Milne's a confidence play. Don't want to give him an easy goal first up, and that's what he's done. Bit of feeling in this game early. A few players get over to King and let him know all about it.
Bit of spirit there for the Saints too.
And the G-Train in there throwing his ample weight around. That'll be quite a contest. King and Milne. Don't write King off yet.
And Sam Fisher just has to be able to play that role really smart. He links through the middle of the ground. He's on Richo, and you'll see Richo at the top of the screen there. That's where he's setting up. Fisher's in defence.
Kane Johnson and Luke Ball shoulder to shoulder. And Ball comes out with a free kick. So St Kilda's footy again, and now it's Hayes. And he pokes it wide. He's Charlie Gardner, but Moore quells him. Very conservatively goes backwards rather than looking for a target forward. Richo, the ball just following him at the moment. Here's Morton again for the Tigers. And now Simmons. Richmond with a revamped forward line lately. It's working well for them. Deledio. Clever kick. Jack Riewoldt. Johnson, the skipper. That's a lovely... Well, it's not. It's found Del Santo. Look good off the boot. Del Santo in the way for the Saints. And... playing the Richo role up on the wing as the G-Train.
Yeah, do expect him to get too far away from goal. Riewoldt working back towards goal where he does a lot of damage. Not that time. Steadiness of Moore. Did he disguise it well enough? Apparently so.
Much improved player, Kelvin Moore. He had the big job on Buddy Franklin last week and handled it fairly well, and he started well again tonight.
Charlie Gardner for company tonight. And speaking of Gardners, Michael down to Hayes. And almost for Nick Riewoldt. So good start for the Saints here, boys.
Yeah, and they've been really strong through the middle of the ground. Their clearances have been first class at the moment, so getting their hands on the ball.
Won their last 9 against the Tigers. They have the wood on them big time. King and Milne at it again. Simmons for Richmond. Had to be careful with the kick. Didn't want to put it deliberately out. Raf Clark. Milne again. With his tail up, you never know from out there.
Just a bit too cute there, Troy Simmons. He really needed to launch that one about 70 metres away from their goal. Tried the clever pass, and in the end it's resulted in a shot on goal for Stephen Milne. Tigers made the first entry to their 50. St Kilda 5-0 since. Milne missing by a lot on the near side. St Kilda by 7 points.
So it is all St Kilda, as we mentioned so far. Big booming kick down the middle. In these days of modern tactics and zones and so forth, it's not a bad antidote to it, is it? The big boomer down the middle.
That is a massive kick. That's almost landed in the circle.
That's the set play from during the week. Chris Newman's had the licence to kick one top down the middle of the ground. He got onto it pretty well.
Oh, Jeff Ferring, where are you?
Wow, have a look at this.
All right, play restarts. And again it goes for Clark. Richo, he can do everything these days, even some good tackling. Through the middle, this is Edwards. Combining well with Tambling, and now giving Brown the best chance. That'll be a big task for Stephen Baker tonight, isn't it? Second game back against Nathan.
Yeah, it is. But the key movement was the ability to be able to open up the other side of the ground. And that handball back inside by Johnson really created that forward line movement. The fat side of the ground was open, and Brown knew where to go.
Hasn't got a great record against St Kilda. Nathan Brown, less than a goal a game. It's the only team he has that average. And he fails on this occasion to find the middle. Has been in good, accurate form during the year too, Nathan Brown, with 13 goals too.
He's back to moving, not that far off his best though, Bossy. That lead then, he got about 3 or 4 metres on Baker. He's very, very quick. Whistle was gone. And he stepped over the line, Brendan Goddard. So they'll ball that up right at the end of the goal square. They've been on the job this week, the umpires, with the 50-metre penalties, and there was one of those last night in Perth. So no liberties to be taken. I think players for the rest of this round have to be very wary of the 50. No one between the bounce and the goal line until that little gap was closed. Morton off the ground. Flying goal by Mitch Morton.
That was almost too easy. With a mass of players like that, to find that much space and open up, of course that's where it was brought back, and for the reason, going back to the actual stoppage though, it just opened up. There's the space, just popped in nicely.
Been handy, hasn't he, Mitch Morton, since coming back into the team. Recruit from the Eagles. They could probably do with him now. But the Tigers on level terms. Big crowd, Saturday night footy at the Dome. Simmons and Kazitsky started on the bench. Kane Johnson missed a couple of targets now. Good run out of defence again for the Tigers, and again Richo's a link in the chain. Oh, Chris Newman. Massive mistake, huge calamity. Nick D'Alessandro took a long time. Too long, but he still gets a goal. Somehow.
Well, I think the mistake is obvious. I mean, that's diabolical. Just 3 goals. More importantly, D'Alessandro kicks a goal. It's his first one for the year, isn't it?
I think it is.
And made it pretty hard for himself too.
Well done by King though. That was an enormous chase down. Nearly saved a goal. It's Nick D'Alessandro's first goal of the season. D'Alessandro, Ball, Harvey, Hayes and Montagna, just 8 goals between them coming into tonight's game. The midfield has not made a dent on the scoreline for the Saints. Maybe that's the turning of the tide. There's a free kick to Richmond. Foley ridden into the ground.
Thank you. Let him go back. Play on.
It's a willing start to this game. Schultz scything ball, but straight onto the chest of Sam Fisher. Richardson's opponent putting it out in front of D'Alessandro, just relaxed, took his eyes off it. Right now for Richmond.
Good shepherd laid by Riewoldt, but it might have hurt his shoulder. Good ball to Richardson. Well done by Montagna. Now Sam Fisher. Del Santo, the look away was clever. Maguire, Harvey running into a wall. Good enough to run through walls. Riewoldt pushed in the back by Thursfield. Looked a clear free kick from here.
Riewoldt takes it quickly. Harvey Tamblin, better be careful. As Tim mentioned, they've been very strict on that this weekend. Milne, he will try and play on at all costs if he's going to have a shot for goal. He's stuck now, he can't really play on. And
that's a smart kick.
A terrific kick to Armitage.
That was a really smart kick.
Has kicked a couple of goals since he came back into the team a couple of weeks ago.
Pretty loose defending though, boss, isn't it, from the Tigers? I mean, that much time, it's the slowest players you can get, and I can looking at about 8 Richmond midfielders just still hovering around the middle of the ground. None of them getting back to help their mates out.
So David Armitage, a bit quiet last week, but certainly impressed a couple of weeks ago against the Bombers. A talented youngster, and the St Kilda midfield is delivering with goals. Although most of the goals have come from Richmond errors.
Yeah, they have. Darcy's call was absolutely perfect. It was just that lapse in concentration. There was only one little hole that was open, and it opened up just in front of centre forward at the right of screen there. You'll see the space, and it was just eye contact that won him that ball.
And a lot of St Kilda's goals have come from Richmond kicking errors. Look at that stat, 43% efficiency to 80. 14 kicks Richmond have had, only 5 have hit the target.
And they've made the move, Richo, now into the goal square, and Matty Maguire's going to take him right on the full-back line.
Good start by the Saints. 2-goal lead. Free kick to Tamblin this time. Tigers midfield been very good in recent weeks. Core of 5 of them averaging more than 20 possessions a game. Deledio is one of them. Tuck's another. Deledio waiting, using a bit of hypnotic effect. Patterson swinging it as long as he can, but it's not very long, and it's nothing like long enough.
Geez, their kicking's been diabolical. I mean, 43% of the time they're just turning it over.
Goddard rarely turns it over and can kick with devastating efficiency. Harvey in game 366 joins Bernie Quinlan tonight, number 5 all time. Charlie Gardner to ex-Clark, out at the 50, wasting no time. Riewoldt is there, pushing and shoving, keeping his feet, but the ball just beat him to the line.
Well, this is massive, this kicking, isn't it, boys? We're watching Riewoldt and Thursfield. That's going to be a big battle through the night, but if they can't get their kicking efficiency right, the Saints are just going to capitalise.
They won't win.
Nathan Brown getting back to help out. Graham closing on him here, and you can trust Nathan Brown pretty solidly with his kicking. Daniel Jackson, a late inclusion tonight.
Not a lot of run here for Richmond. I know he's just having to hold the footy because there's literally no options.
Played a tagging role on Lee Montagna late last year. That was a dangerous kick. 3 goes against Milne, and advantage is paid and taken from McGawan, who has to hit up a man this time, and does. Kelvin Moore up on that winger, that well-known winger, Fraser Gehrig.
Well, he's run him about 150 metres. That'll be the tactic tonight if you're on Fraser. Another poor kick.
Eyes off the footy, just make contact with him.
But they're going to run him all night, Hutto. That's the plan. They've got to get Fraser up the ground, see if they can blow the big fella up.
King to McMahon as they try and come in from a different angle. And there is some space here for Thursfield to work in. Richo doubling back, but not getting near this one. Fisher had the best read on that. Confusion reigned for the Tiger forwards that time. And they have been, I would think, very disappointed themselves, I'm sure, with their start here at the Dome. The margin 13 at this early stage.
Now St Kilda getting the jitters down the back, but there are enough of them there helping each other out. Sam Fisher to Schneider, the former Swan. So Harvey making his presence felt since coming off the bench. Armitage again, one of St Kilda's goal kickers.
Bend over.
Graham didn't. Deledio, Johnson, and Thursfield. Kicks quickly and well. Lovely ball for Riewoldt. Good breakaway speed there to give Richardson a real crack.
Well, I'm going to go back to the half-back flank, and this is just not good enough. Get your head down.
This is great play on the other end, though, wasn't it, Vossi, from Riewoldt? He just played on. It was bold. He had a couple of St Kilda defenders around him, and he took them on. Did well.
His kicking's been pretty good this year, and it continues to be as the Tigers get their second. He is hot.
He has a new lease of life, Richo. He is playing with some energy and enthusiasm, isn't he?
He's had some downtimes in his career, just being in sides that haven't won many games, and I love seeing him do well. He gives so much energy and so much passion, and he just tries that hard. It's great to see him at this stage of his career still right on top of his game.
They need accurate kicking. Richo's the man.
Fraser's having a rest.
Yep. So the game just tightens up a fraction. Simmons and Gardner. Tambling. McMahon and Foley, advantage given and taken. A long way for his fourth disposal. Again, they let it themselves down. Gardner doing the chopping off work. Graham again under some pressure. Goddard with a clear head. Finds Del Santos, made a much better start. 6 possessions already tonight. Last week shut down. Just 13 touches against Kane Corns. This is Burse. Came in and had 16 touches last week. Has the job on Foley. Bursefield making Riewoldt work, but work is what he'll do. Snyder back in the team and Clark's got away. Tight angle for Xavier Clark.
And just that little handball just creates the movement for the forwards. They have to move. As soon as that little flick on handball eventuated, Snyder was away, created the movement.
Had a good finish to last week's game with 5 disposals, but just 12 for the game. His best this year included a 3-goal bag against Carlton. So maybe he can find the middle from here. Beautiful looking kick. Margin now 8.
Now Newman, this is the second kick out. We go the big torp again. No, he's just played on.
So the Tigers are away. Another turnover. It might work out all right. Johnson able to mop it up for Richmond. This will start getting to them, you would think, in a while if it continues. Patterson on the end of that kick. Now McGuan, tremendous smother by Xavier Clark. He was down in the scoring position a moment ago, and St Kilda come out of it with a free.
Look at this.
Hard work and courage. Charlie Gardner takes it wide. Del Santos stepped over the mark. Burse, who has the job on Foley, but he's doing some good work of his own. Dempster now, clever kick, and Schneider can have a go at them from comfortable range. But for the left footer, a tricky angle.
How do you think the Tiger fans are going in their seats at the moment, Das?
I don't reckon they're having a great night, Vossi, at all, because there's been some of the worst clangers that I've seen for the year. Just simple passes over 15 or 20 metres. They'd be pulling their hair out. And they'd be pulling their hair out because Adam Snyder just ran into a inside 50 with no opponent for about 30 metres.
6 marks inside the 50 to 2, St Kilda's way. Schneider for the Saints' 4th. Makes no mistake. St Kilda by 14 points.
Look, and it's fine if the turnovers eventuate in a pressure environment, and you probably could argue that's one of them, but when you're in open field and you miss easy targets, it just costs you so much.
Was that free kick for a scoop a good decision? They've been tight on that this year. We've seen a lot more of it than we once did. And they're insisting that the ball really be slapped, don't they?
So the margin is 14, and maybe, trying to be positive if it could be from a Richmond point of view, could be a lot worse than 14 with the mistakes we've seen made. Gardner in for his third game of the season tonight. And had a bit of a run up there and momentum. Simmons finds Lenny Hayes, tackle hard to escape. Del Santo having a real crack.
And that's an important point, Hutto. It's not intent. We're not talking about intent here. They look like they're on. They look like they really want to take the contest. But they've still got to hit their targets.
Simmons and Gardner again showing he can get a touch on the footy, even though it was Brown that had the superior anticipation. Tough bounce for Fisher. Great forceful stuff from Foley, and he gets the kicking logistics. Not bad. Morton keeps it alive. Riewoldt. Oh, not sure what he was thinking there.
It's fantastic from Foley. I love the way he bursts through, and it's his trademark, especially last year. Even then, the kick just needed another metre, and it would have been a certain goal.
Good strong effort by Krzyzewski, and wasting no time, almost taking a runner with him as he delivers to his partner in crime up there in Riewoldt. St Kilda's Riewoldt doing a bit better than his junior cousin at the other end of the ground, although young Jack has made one or two contributions so far. Now Harvey.
It's the difference in the two sides. Look at Harvey's kick again. Finds the target. They're hitting up the easy options, and Richmond can't do it.
It's a tight spot. Milne's had one go from out here from further out, and this might just be kickable. He kicked there first. Dangerous man when he gets his tail up. He won't with a kick like that, and the Tiger fans let him know about it. Big miss. Saints by 15. 8 scoring shots to 3.
And Nathan Brown with the job of bringing the ball back into play now. I don't know if that means that Terry Wallace wasn't a fan of the big talk from Chris Newman or not. McMahon tests his skills again. Good fight shown by Simmons. Here's Newman. Needing to be adventurous and not rush too much, and he did both of those things to find Chris Hyde pushing up. Can they hit the next target? No is the answer, but Delidio superior on the ground to his direct opponent Dempster. Riewoldt not trying to take it on the full, and hassled over the line. So Polak and Hudson both late withdrawals, and we did think that could leave the St Kilda defence a little undermanned. So far so good. And they're teaming well here. Raf Clark, Milne and King have had a couple of nice duels already. Hands in the back, unfortunately for Stephen Milne. And King wins the battle.
That was pretty clear, and Joe King made it clearer. Milne having the better of that tussle early. Two colourful, smaller players. Now Hyde. Richmond needing a goal. Haven't lost touch with the Saints. Hyde now forced onto his wrong side. So drags it wide but does it well. And Troy Simmons is a pretty good kick and shouldn't have too much difficulty with that shot.
Yeah, and it was a better kick from Chris Hyde. He had Troy Simmons. Geez, he's made a real difference to this side, Troy Simmons. He missed most of last year with injury. He's fit and strong, jumping well at the centre square bounce. And this is why he's a good player, because you've got to watch him when he pushes forward. He can score goals.
Important player for Richmond. Just a lot of last year. When he's there and able-bodied, Richmond likely to be a much more dangerous team. Skills are good for a big man. Nails that. Tigers not far away.
Only 9 points the difference. Vossi, you summed it up pretty well before when you said that their intent's good, they're tackling hard, and that's been the improvement in them over the last month. They're the 4th best contested possession team in the competition. Their skill areas have just been deplorable, so if they get that right, it's an easy fix at quarter time. Come in, sort that out, and they can get themselves right back in this game.
There's a big upside to Stephen Milne when he's on, but there's also a downside, and he's just made a couple of costly errors for the Saints, hasn't he, tonight?
Well, you should always keep your eye on the ball, never take your eye off the ball. That's the first part. But he certainly can light them up. There's no doubt about that.
He's had 6 possessions and kicked 1 goal too, so there's good and bad in Stephen Milne.
And when he's going, you just love watching him, don't you? You just think of what's going to happen next. And he certainly does spark St Kilda. Important player to them.
Jake King with the job of constraining him. You can see Dempster against Delidio in that mess, and also Harvey with the releasing kick. Chance for King, the initial fumble. He rode out the bump very well though. And now McMahon can swing into action. Nathan Brown. How's the delivery for Tambling? Not bad, but again just a little off. Del Santo, I think went the wrong way initially. Wrong way to go back. He did for Clark, and now Snyder, a welcome inclusion tonight for the Saints. Goddard been terrific on his return from injury. Maguire, a little too adventurous. Kane Johnson with the smother. Tambling decided not to try and find the proverbial needle. Kane Johnson tries to. Morton got there, surrounded by Saints. Numbers, will they prevail? Number 13 prevails.
Warned by Schneider to Ball and Goddard. And a potential Richmond score at one end becomes a dangerous looking St Kilda build up at the other. Dempster to Graham, who is a devastating kick. Riewoldt couldn't get to the contest, and Gehrig was forced to go the spoil. Richardson, Hyde, now Moore.
Got some space out here. Richmond on the wing. They're dangerous in the situation.
Jake Edwards now. How will he deliver it? Conservatively, a little dangerously, but Delidio's good enough. Again forced into a retreat. Now Tuck. Now Newman. Milne applying pressure. Well done by the little forward. Hyde to McMahon. That's a good-looking kick. Just didn't hit the mark. And it's out to the boundary.
It's an epidemic, isn't it? Because Jordan McMahon was brought across to the club because that's one thing he can do really well, is hit the target, and just off by half a metre as well.
So Tigers inside their 50. Morton got rid of the tackler, but couldn't quite go all the way. Edwards to White. Now Newman, go to Torp. Semi-smothered. There won't be a mark on the end of that. Hyde, can he wriggle loose? But he does enough to get to Edwards. And Shane Edwards kicks the goal. The Tigers are within 3 points.
Well, again, their intent has got them back in this game. Their skill errors have been just a bit off, but their intent, they're winning contested ball, and this here, never give up on the tackle, gets the hands free, dishes it off, puts someone else into space. Very well done.
Still just a 19-year-old Shane Edwards. Learned his footy in Adelaide under Andrew Jarman, so you're always going to have a bit of flair learning your footy from Jars. Margin is 3 at the moment. The Saints suddenly under a bit of fire. Ball gets them kick-started out of the middle. So far, Moore and Schultz and co standing up reasonably well. They'll have to against the potent St Kilda lineup. Brown and Patterson, and suddenly they're full of run. Newman maybe waited a fraction long, but he was devoid of options, so the Saints able to lock them down here by Harvey and Kaczynski. Jackson with the accidental smother, and Hayes takes the mark just inside the line. Last minute of the opening quarter. Oh, that was kicking short to a contest. Luke Ball thought he deserved a free. Stuart Wen thought otherwise. Del Santo back on the ground, replacing Ball. 8 possessions for Del Santo. Was that a free? No, it wasn't. Falls for the Tigers anyway. Brown at full stretch. Downfield.
Richmond, where you marked it.
39 seconds. They'll need some clean delivery. Saints have got an extra man. Not sure the kick was very well thought out. All in a rush. And Jason Graham, who returned to form last week, Had a couple of nervous moments tonight, but has had 4 touches. Here's Goddard. Have the Saints got time? They've got 22 seconds.
Right there.
Tigers just squandering a chance of turning in front, which would have been a really uplifting outcome for them after struggling through most of this opening quarter. They now get numbers behind the ball and there's nowhere for St Kilda to go, so we reach the end of an interesting first quarter with St Kilda fittingly in front, but by just 3 points.
It was interesting, Tim, there's no doubt about that. We spoke a lot about Richmond's skill errors that they took. It was in just amazing form. If they start hitting targets, they're going to score heaps of goals, and that makes it a good contest.
Yeah, and Terry's just got to mention to them, just to be able to have a crack at your kicks. They've almost been pulling their kicks. They're just sort of not really prepared to just have a go at it, which can be the difference between missing your target and getting it.
Some interested spectators there. Mark Harvey, of course, in town for the match against Melbourne, having a look, and the Bombers, who take on Richmond in a couple of weeks, round 9, the Dreamtime game at the G. Second quarter then, another tangle in the middle between Kazitsky, who's in the ruck now, and Troy Simmons, and Tigers able to get going through Tuck. Terrific delivery, it was low and it quick through the air, and Nathan Brown appreciated that, gobbled it up, and from 40 out he should be able to score the goal that would put Richmond in front.
Fair handball is from Kane Johnson. He's been great this year. Been in fantastic form, and Nathan Brown, we mentioned it earlier, he's got his speed back, he's quick off the mark, and he's very hard to stop when he's up and running.
Kane Johnson averaging 29 disposals this season, well and truly a career best. But it's Nathan Brown with the opportunity to give the Tigers the lead, and you can't believe it, he hasn't made the distance.
Well, we've spoken about Richmond and their ability not to hit a target in the first quarter. Well, if there's something St Kilda have to address, it's the contested ball. They are getting smashed.
Stephen Baker just backed himself to be able to shake off the opposition there. Did just enough. Tigers getting themselves into this game.
He's got to have it, Nathan Brown. That last shot on goal, he just likes to caress him about 2 metres over the line, and it's a funny thing. He's one of the most highly skilled players that I've ever seen, and he just likes to caress them.
Watch out, Roy.
Free kick to Richmond.
We should talk more about this contested footy, Vossi. I mean, it would be very annoying for Ross Lyon, wouldn't it?
Well, certainly, and that's the strength of the St Kilda team. They don't have the outside leg speed, so they need to be very clean. They need to be able to get their hands on the ball first.
Delidio being careful here. Very careful. Brown, Simmons. Tigers taking their time. Supporters' hearts will be in mouths. Their kicking woes might have something to do with the fact that they kicked so little last week. They had the lowest kick-to-hand pass ratio in history. Richardson now. Jordan McMahon running into the wall. Good kick for Edwards. Graham's there with him. Maguire too, and out of that, it's gone. Holding the ball, St Kilda's footy. Maguire to take it. Now Del Santo coming off a good first quarter.
Just got to keep moving it.
Fine Snyder. Riewoldt working hard. No free. McGuan. Again, not convincing ball movement. Thursfield, some space back there for Kelmore. And good running from Chris Newman. Fraser's coming after him. Needs to hit the target. Couldn't. Delidio, who's really emerging as a prime midfielder. Oh, Richo. Beautiful 45-metre kick. Unfortunately, it was straight across the ground, but still finds a man. That's the most important thing. McGrawn's going to be going to do the same thing here. We're getting dizzy watching it go from one side of the ground to the other. Moore breaks it up with some running bounces. Disorientated Hyde gets another chance. King advancing through half forward, low ball, too low as it turned out. It allowed Kazitsky to get there, and the Saints through Fisher can run and gun.
Gardner
Good
helping
hands.
it. Del Santo, ball, Del Santo again.
Fraser's on here.
Counter-attack for the Saints. That brings a throaty roar from St Kilda supporters. Kind of roar that you hear from nearby Southern Cross Station as a train starts to rumble out. And the G train rumbles in for the first time.
Well, while all the focus is on Fraser, Richmond just do not want to kick it to a contest. They're prepared to flip it around as much as they possibly can to be able to find that free man.
So Gehrig, goalless in the VFL last week for the Casey Scorpions. Goalless so far tonight. Schneider. Burse. Hayes lurking there. Burse missing the first target. Getting the second. Montagna. Charlie Gardner. Surrounded. King. And Riewoldt got him high. So it's Richmond's ball. There'll be no score. It'll come back.
Free kick, Jack Riewoldt. Free kick. No score, free kick. High tackle, 5 metres score.
Now, Richmond's changed strategy then, Vossi. Have they been made much more conscious, do you think, of the fact that they were turning it over by foot so often and they're being a bit too cautious?
I think at the moment they're being too cautious. They're just not having a crack at their kicks. I'm sure Terry would be encourage them to do that. Just those little loopy kicks.
It can spread through a side when you just know that everyone's kicking the footy bad. You start getting a bit nervous, a bit tentative. Some of their good kicks, Chris Newman's a good kick, and he's been shanking them.
That's a better effort. Out to the wing for McGuan. He's one who had a few nervous moments. Oh, kicks into the middle, rolled the dice a little, but Jay Schultz has popped up at the right time. Oh, and he just had his awareness about him at the right time as well. King. Oh, he's run a long way. Just got away with it. Schultz now. He has to kick a mighty kick for it to be a goal because the big frame of Justin Kaczynski was in the goal square and the task became all too much for him as he released it. And that's a great reaction.
She summed it up pretty well, that young girl, didn't she?
Richmond free kick, block. Yep, where the ball was.
Yeah, Richmond, try.
Wow.
Down the ground.
Try Richmond free kick.
In the forward pocket.
Here, your kick here for a block down there, Phil. Back here. Here it is.
Against Burrs.
Well, there was a hole in the middle of the ground. The umpires aren't calling a block.
On Shane Burse, I think.
And because
Vossi.
of that, where the ball was is where the free kick is paid.
A couple of old teammates there, Shane Burse and Jordan McMahon, and
Oh, well. Which one was the free kick?
I reckon he's pretty stiff there, Burse.
Whoa. That's a big call, especially the penalty.
Disproportionate, really, isn't it? Giving Simmons a shot at goal to give Richmond the lead. Goalless quarter so far. Not anymore. Richmond in front.
Adds so much to their side, Troy Simmons. He's had 8 disposals, 2 goals. I love ruckmen that win the footy around the ground and make you worry about them when they're not necessarily in the contest. He's someone that you've got to be nervous about because he pushes hard, he's athletic, he can score goals, and he's good enough at the centre square bounce to compete as well. He's a very good player and he started on fire tonight.
He's produced career best numbers so far this year. 17 disposals per game, Troy Simmons. And his ability to go forward and kick goals, particularly in a low-scoring game. He's got a double tonight, and they lead now for the first time in the match. Finally emerging out. Second time in the match, it might be. No, it is the first time in the match. Simmons goes to centre half forward. Schultz. Great tackling from Montagna. He's been very quiet though, just 2 possessions so far.
Chris Hyde on him, big victory there. Hyde's had 7 possessions.
Dangerous kick, gives Newman a look, but he took more than a look. He saw the ball and he attacked it hard. Tigers suddenly full of running. That's worth another look. Off to Hyde he goes, and they're inside 50, and Richo pops up at half forward and keeps drops his back to goal. He says, I'm going to have a shot. So come with me.
Playing on the wing gives him that much more freedom because he'll start on the wing, then he'll start forward. Look at the space he's got. When you leave him just in the goal square, he gets a defender the whole time. He never gets space. Well, he's changing opponents every 5 or 10 minutes. So in the crossover, he gets a few metres and he's good enough to get the footy.
19 goals for the season. And not even adding to the score, but you've got to take that with Richo.
So then, Das, do you put Fisher goes everywhere with him? He's got the capability and the endurance to do it.
Spot on. You'd leave him on in the whole game. He's too dangerous to leave alone for even 10 seconds.
Lee Montagne's polled Brownlow votes in St Kilda's last 3 clashes against Richmond. He kicks long more than any other player in the league. He's only had 2 long kicks for the night so far, and that was just for being in the right place at the right time. He goes wide for Richmond. They're rolling at the moment, but they cannot kick the ball where they want to. They score a behind and they lead by 5 points.
Here's a nice little step. Have a look at this. Just a little step. Gave him some space.
So the Saints really on the back foot all of a sudden. Burse to Harvey. Lenny Hayes has been one who's been quiet, and Nick Riewoldt another. Riewoldt and Hayes both with 4 disposals so far only. Burse released it into the forward line. Good luck marking that. King got the timely fist, and the contest is ended for the moment.
Big period of the game, this. I reckon the momentum's all with Richmond. If they score a couple of goals, it's going to put huge pressure on St Kilda. No free kick. Good contest. So the next goal is just massive in this game.
Gardner waiting for it by Patterson. Lots of Saints lurking. Tigers able to wrap it up.
Possession, okay? Fair tackle.
What's his main concern at the moment, Ross Lyon, do you think, boys?
They're not moving the ball fast enough. They're certainly not winning the ball. That is a big concern. But they're not moving the ball fast enough either into their forward half.
Clean tap to Michael Gardner, but pretty much straight to Newman. McMahon been in good form. That's a little dangerous. Newman giving it off to Moore, to Deledio. Goes to a contest. Brandon Jackson and Milne arriving for St Kilda. Saints just lack the ability to provide upfield pressure. Their midfield doesn't kick goals. They really rely on their key forwards to take marks. Armitage goes to Riewoldt and he's taken a mark right there.
You wrote that script then, Tim. Beautifully.
He gives it off. There's Riewoldt. As we see the replay of his mark, he spotted Harvey inside. The angle's been cut and the veteran can line them up. They haven't kicked a goal for 22 minutes. After a good start, although built largely on Richmond errors. Important kick. And the 366 gamer slots it home for St Kilda.
And again, it was a mark inside 50. A midfielder kicks the goal. The one thing they don't appear to be generating a lot of, though, Das, is that ability to be able to break the 50, really run and carry the ball through centre half forward, break through the 50 and kick those goals as midfielders do. They're having to drop in these little holes to be able to generate a score.
Harvey goals, and the Saints are back in front. One reason Richmond have worked their way back into the game, as well as the contested footy, has been their clearances. They've won the last 5. Let's see who takes the honours here. Patterson and Gardner contesting. Patterson with the last touch, but the last word, it is going to be Richmond's. Tambling, another free kick.
Wait.
He's had a couple tonight.
Jackson's out.
Jackson's got away completely here. He's just a fraction too far out to score. Richo's doubling back, but again, tried the impossible. It was either going to be Harvey or Graham's ball there. That's the grand old man, Harvey, who sends Clark away to Riewoldt. Is there a free there? No.
Well done, Will Thursfield. He's playing on one of the great lead-up players in the competition, and he's just persevering. He's sticking to his guns. And he's been outmarked quite a few times, but it hasn't been through lack of effort.
He's a good young player, getting better. St.Kilda free kick, and their fans suggesting it's about time. The numbers are 12-6. Burst to take that for the Saints. Back in front after that Harvey goal. Pressing here, Riewoldt just retarded slightly. Xavier Clark delaying, giving to Schneider on his wrong side. And he didn't make good contact. Tambling in the way for the Tigers. Bit more of Richard Tambling now after 3 or so seasons than there was when he started. Johnson to King, who hasn't taken a backward step since a disastrous start. There's an own chop, advantage called. Edwards, that's well weighted. And Jack Riewoldt can have a crack at them. Jack, the son of Chris, who's the brother of Joe, who was the father of Nick.
Can you go through that again, Tim?
No, I couldn't.
Nice family tree work there, Tim. What's the auntie's name?
Beryl. I'll give you those later. We'll have a look at the kick. Tigers a point down. Riewoldt. What a lovely kick that is. That's how it's done. Tigers back in front.
Of course, his uncle once removed Frank as a terrific kick at goal, and I'm sure he taught Jack how to kick.
Champagne stuff there. Their kicking efficiency is still absolutely horrible. They're 59% to 78%. 59% is as low as you can ever get. They should be about 5 goals in front. They start hitting targets, they'll blow them away.
So Riewoldt versus Riewoldt tonight, Jack. 4 disposals, 3 marks and a goal. And Nick at the other end, 5 disposals, 4 marks and a clean sheet in terms of scoring goals. Gardner got the tap cleanly, gave an armchair ride to Ball, and now Hayes, and the Saints inserted with space. Just the wrong side for Snyder. And it was a game of inches.
Gee, Luke Ball was good in the middle then. He was very good. Clean hands.
Harvey waits at the front. Riewoldt, the unlikely ruckman. There's a free, and it might be a St Kilda free here.
Gee, the shot went through.
He did the right thing, though, the umpire. He did not look at the result. Didn't pay attention. He said no advantage, and he stuck with it.
But how do they make those judgments? How do they differentiate? Once upon a time, if play was considered continuous, advantage would be called if it was in the team's interests, and it looked pretty continuous then.
It is complicated by the shots at goal. I think that's where it gets a little tricky, as Burse kicks pretty sweetly, and the Saints retake the lead at the Dome.
And a couple of little minor victories for Burse, who's been playing on Foley for most of the night. Just a couple of times he's been in front. He's won the free kick. And he's won that contested ball. So really setting the standard for the rest of his teammates.
There's Fraser Garrick deep in the goal square. It's been a big night for him. A lot of talk during the week. He's just had the 2 disposals and no score. But I'd love to get the footy in his hands for his confidence and get him into the game.
He has an amazing record against the Tigers.
It's 20 from his last 3. 20 goals from his last 3 encounters against Richmond, which I'd imagine was very much in the minds of the Saints selectors in calling him up for this game, despite lacklustre form last week for the Scorpions.
Well, look again, and just on something different in terms of the contested ball situation. Burse is really leading the way against Foley, and Ball is starting to win the contested ball also.
So much hinging on this game, and there's just 1 point in it right now. Xavier Clark with his brother storming down the ground, just couldn't give him the bounce that he needed to make the best of it, and he gets himself into strife.
been a big improvement in Richmond's game from last year and from the first couple of rounds. And this chase from Daniel Jackson is really good pressure, and they're putting the opposition under more pressure than they have.
Get out there, Lenny. Adam Patterson, you're
Against
you can ship it in right out. Play on.
Richmond's ball. Patterson it was awarded the free kick. Now Tuck and Richardson posing himself on this game up and down the ground.
He can make anything look dramatic though, can't he?
Oh, that's Batman and Robin working behind the centre here. Making it hard for themselves, but King with confidence and pluck. And a pretty good placement. Riewoldt just can't get to the drop. How can he kick with the left? Oh, well. And Edwards from the goal square surely won't miss.
Great play, Jake King. He just didn't hesitate, charged straight through the middle of the ground, took them on, and that's a hallmark of the way Richmond want to play. Nathan Foley does it really well, and they're going to get a certain goal out of it.
Shane Edwards has kicked one already. Tried to miss, kicked the goal, and the lead changes for the 5th time in this second quarter.
Well, isn't it exciting when we see somebody take off? And that put the pressure put the defence under enormous pressure, I should say. And just that real predictable kick back to the top of the goal square.
Did well, didn't he, under pressure?
Well done.
I think Richmond are going to base their game plan on speed, handling, and these guys, when they do that, Nathan Foley, they've got some quicks there.
This is the contested footy you're talking about, boys. Some of the stats showing that in favour of Richmond, 51-29, and we're seeing some examples of it there. St Kilda, though, despite the Tigers back in front, I just sense a little more urgency in the last few minutes of St Kilda, so this is going to be crucial passage of play before half-time. Richmond have dominated the quarter in most areas, and they prevail again here. Delidio to Richo.
Another contested footy one there.
He trusts his instincts, and unfortunately the instincts weren't so good that time. Or at least the kicking wasn't, and it's through for a behind.
It was really timely, wasn't it, that stat, because it was another contested footy. It was a 50-50 ball, and Richmond are winning all of them.
And yet it's in uncontested football that the Tigers this year tend to outstrip St Kilda statistically. And St Kilda would have backed themselves in that area, I would fancy.
Well, it's their ability not only getting their hands on the ball, but they're spreading very quickly from the contest. So it's quick 1-2 hands and they're away. That's where they've been impressive.
Del Santo, quick kick into Raf Clark. Here's Gehrig. There's always going to be a tall order for him there, and he only succeeds in taking his teammate over the line, and the Tiger fans enjoyed it. The Jeep Train's eyes just get that slightly glazed look when things aren't quite going according to the script. Here's Hayes.
That's better.
Dempster, Del Santo, but he comes onto his right side. Now Gehrig. Attempted to belligerently draw the line in the sand and then decided, no, I'm about 100 metres from goal. It's not worth worrying about. Raf Clark. Tigers with numbers back. Harvey. We did manage to come forward and kick a goal earlier in the quarter. The Saints need more of that from their midfield. Riewoldt. Testing territory out there. Tiger fans in the background tense. Richo back. Full back. We'll see Riewoldt used in that role before long, the Richardson role. He's laid up. Xavier Clark flew in front. Milne should kick that. Does kick it. Scores level.
Well, there was a serious free kick off the ball there.
That was extraordinary.
To Richo, we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If we see it again, and hopefully we do, you'll see Richo has just been completely retarded. His tack on the ball.
He was mauled, wasn't he? I thought I saw the same thing, and it was just an obvious free kick that wasn't paid. He's not happy, the big fella.
Well, something is always happening when Richo's around. Look at Gehrig on Richo.
I mean,
there.
that's a mauling.
That did appear to be a free kick missed by the umpire, and Milne was there to pick up the scraps, which he does so effectively. And we're back on level terms, which seems to be the go at the Dome in recent weeks. Simmons not able to make the clean getaway, and Hayes also muzzled.
Gently up, guys, gently up.
Just a centre square ruck contest here for Kosicki. Hasn't had a possession this quarter, and Troy Simmons is well on top.
It's a tight old contest.
Wins it again.
Delidio found a way. Kosicki just imposed himself, didn't he, on the footy there. Ball was terrific. Xavier Clark with the world closing in on Fisher as well. Saints somehow, inch by inch, get their way clear. Maguire with the last kick into the 50. McMahon nudging out Riewoldt there. Harvey, terrific stuff. Snyder, a roll of the dice. Not a great handball for Richo, and he had to hurry and adapt. That's going to be a free kick now. Holding the man. Richmond ball.
Well, he ended up giving the free kick away, but his two attacks on the footy, gee, goes hard at it. That was the second one. He just held on too long and dumped him.
Perhaps unaware that the ball had disappeared. McMahon to take them out of defence and maybe not into attack.
Looked a good kick off the boot. It was just a bit too good. Graham. Gehrig doing some heavy work in midfield. Riewoldt's got hold of Graham, but the G-train chugs on. Now the Tigers could be dangerous. Tambling. Kane Johnson had it at his bootlaces, just wouldn't roll for him. Maguire to Hayes. It was one of those contests that hung in the balance for what felt like a minute. And now it's St.Kilda who can mount the attack. Armitage, Del Santo and Sam Fisher inside. They can go for broke here. Del Santo from a long way. Hasn't quite got the power. Riewoldt. Milne lurking again. His opponent king over it. Tough footy, and Kelvin Moore goes for the line. Richo finishes the job.
Good footy, Saints. They're back in front.
Umpire thought that was okay. It looked all right on the replay. Brown. It's got King, and the Tigers have got an extra number here on the wing. Schultz the target. Nothing on the overlap for them at this stage. Hence Schultz's decision to go back. Brown can see McGuan, who's still out there trying to run Fraser around, who spent more time out on the logo on the wing than he has close to goal tonight. Trying to get it through the corridor. Riewoldt, back for Schultz. He has got support at the ground level here, and that proves important for King. You know he's going to go full steam ahead. White, time to steady, time to size things up, and time to score an important goal on the bell at half-time.
He's got a good step off the right foot. Comes back inside. Second time we've seen that tonight. Just that ability to be able to change direction quickly on that side.
I'm glad he kicked the goal because he had his captain running alongside. He torched the captain. I thought he was out. Went on the left, and you can do that so long as you kick him. And he looks good, this Matthew White. First time I've seen him. He's got some ability.
Matthew White affects the 7th change in the lead in this quarter. That's what we like about this game. A lot of scoring, and it can seesaw. Luke McGuan, the cut already patched, is off having it redone. Thriller in store here. Gardner in ruck against Simmons. Foley burst tagging him. It's been an old-fashioned midfield tagging job, and they've had about an identical number of disposals. And Hyde has done the job on Montagna. Now Newman forced to retreat to Troy Simmons. Lovely kick. Probing ball to Richardson. 2 against him. Nathan Brown from out of nowhere, and the Tigers have their best break of the night.
do that with just regularity prior to that horrible broken leg. And tonight he's been very prolific. He's had the footy 17 times. That's his first goal. But he's one of those people, was he, that he's just got that ability to do something really special. It's the sort of guy that you used to stand in a room and if you wanted to hit a rock, you know, about 20 metres away and throw it at a wall, he'd hit it every time. He's sort of got that sort of freakish ability. Great to see him back. His body looks right, and if he gets up and running again, massive upside for Richmond.
Plenty of concerns for Ross Lyon, one of them that contested possession count, which is now 63 to 36. And as a result, the Tigers are in front by 11. Nathan Brown been kicking goals regularly of late. 3, 2 and 2, and 1 tonight. Patterson, colourblind there, straight to ball. Now Clark on the back foot, being hunted down.
Great tackle.
Advantage paid. No, it's coming back. Probably fair enough, even though they did have the numbers on the break. Tamlin just cuffed him up. Now, can they really press some more? Big tall timber down there. Patterson had the arms up. Tiger fans holding the ball. The Richo show continues. It's just as entertaining when he's bad as when he's good.
There's some real energy in here at the moment. You get that sense of real anticipation
with the left and the right.
And he can do everything.
But he might just pop up yet. High tackle not spotted by the umpire. So therefore, it could have been holding the ball.
Gee, it looked glaring from here, but sometimes there are optical.
Yeah, it was holding the ball high.
Yes, very good, Vossi. Still they wait at ground level. Tuck. Foley. A little rugby league-like kick looking for the try. Morton dispossessed. Incorrect disposal.
Gee, at the moment, I don't know where they would be without Luke Ball and Nick Del Santo at the moment. They are really working hard. And they're the two St Kilda players who have been very good in the contested ball area. And Luke Ball in particular in this quarter.
St Kilda badly needing a goal here. Not much time in which to do it before half-time. Riewoldt to Del Santo. Milne needing to do it overhead. Raf Clark, but Tambling intercedes for the Tigers. And maybe they can score before the break. Tell you what, if they do, St Kilda going with some headaches. Jack Riewoldt, that's high. King. He's got the fire in his eyes, this young bloke. Here's Richo. Fisher beats him. Xavier Clark. Harvey. It's half-time. The Tigers lead by 11 points. St Kilda have some headaches.
They sure do. And they
At half-time, they were about 63%, which is really ordinary. And yet they're 11 points in front. If they start hitting targets, this game will be over.
And we saw Fraser Gehrig there, just 3 disposals for Fraser in the first half.
And we also saw Jason Graham in picture too. He's been very quiet. If the Saints need someone running off half-back, they need him up and going and firing, pumping it into those guys like Riewoldt and Fraser Gehrig.
And Riewoldt and Kajitsky have not troubled the scorer between them. So we're about to go. This is one big half of football for the St Kilda Footy Club. Simmons and Kajitsky, and it's a big win to the Richmond man. Kane Johnson lost it, but Tuck mops it up, sits it up. Not much marking power there. Goddard for Maguire. First man there, though, is Morton, and Tambling with him. And that's a pretty good kick. The bounce helps the St Kilda defence as it sits up.
Another centre clearance for the Tigers. Troy Simmons, he's been, I think, the player of the first half. Got his hand on the footy. Young Shane Edwards just got poleaxed there.
Kajitsky starting the second half in the ruck and working back into defence. Baker, been very quiet tonight. Got the job at the moment of trying to subdue Nathan Brown. He's had just 3 touches. Not much motion for the Saints. Hayes worked hard up ahead to the top right of screen, but might settle. Took a long time to settle, but he got there to Armitage in the end. This gives Gehrig a chance. Milne, straight off the chest. McGaughan gives him another chance, but King was there to wrap him up. Did he get it out cleanly? The umpire was blindsided and wouldn't have got a view on it anyway.
A little bit of byplay between these two off the ground. It was just not great awareness from Kosicki. Just didn't seem to realise that Simmons just gave him a little one to go on with, and then Cozzy came back and just let him know he was around as well.
Awareness has been an issue in the past at this ground for Kosicki.
Holding Stephen Milne.
Free to Milne.
Start back there and you keep going. That is fantastic.
I don't know about goal of the day and mark of the day, but that was face of the day. Frustration showing from Kosicki. Hasn't been a good night.
Oh, that's a great pickup.
I don't think Terry agrees with you on that, Vossi. Frustration. Let's watch the Milne kick. It's clean enough. He's got 3.
Well, the bee in my bonnet last week was the opposition being able to stop the ball player having a free crack at the ball, and the ability just to be able to pick that up off the side of the play has happened on a couple of occasions tonight from the umpires.
Might have been lucky not to give away 50 there, looking at that.
So it looks like a change there. Stephen Milne has had to be the attacking spearhead. He is St Kilda's only multiple goal kicker, 3 of their 8. And King hands over to the more experienced Chris Newman. Simmons bringing it down to Delidio. Great move and another big clearance win to the Tigers. Morton on the half volley. Brown, biggest possession winner on the ground. Not one of his best there, away from goal, but McMahon clear at least. Now Simmons, who is good, and as old Richmond coach Tommy Hafey would say, getting better. Now Foley, who had a big first quarter, but Shane Burst quelled him in the second. It's been a real head-to-head. Tigers looking to produce an answering goal. Foley forced wide. What a beautiful kick. Weighted perfectly for Richardson. Clearing the fingertips in front, lobbing onto his chest.
Not without a chance here, Richo. If he has a crack, he's not going to, is he?
Plenty of advice from behind. Lays it up. Saints there with numbers. Riewoldt at the base. Riewoldt just couldn't get it onto his boot. Still a chance. Edwards tambling. Johnson. Saints can close it up. Force a ball up.
Tension already around the dome. We're only early in this third quarter. So much at stake. And the ruckman cuddle again. The Tigers just right on the line. Kane Johnson a high one. Troy Simmons with Fisher. Everyone committed to the contest. Tambling runs into loop ball. Not many get through.
Right, let go now, let go now. Let go, don't go high. Here, I'm going to bounce it and walk away.
Margin 6. Plenty of space. Goal side here if a Tiger can run onto it. A Tiger can. Jackson just couldn't escape the clutches. Snyder found out all about that. So many numbers around the ball.
There are so many numbers around the ball at the moment. It is a scrap fest.
Who would be initiating that, do you think? Which coach?
At the moment, I think St Kilda would want to be doing that just for the sheer fact they've got to get this game back on even terms again.
Goddard was up early through Jackson's fingers. Kane Johnson. There is just no room to move in there. Clark was disposed of. Xavier somehow got it out, and suddenly there's some options for the Saints off half-back. They probably have to move it by hand, but there's plenty to give it to. Raf Clark in the motion. Del Santo on the break. Milne is running towards goal. He pulled up and went instead for Gehrig, who's going to have the tougher shot.
And that's the fast ball movement. Gave their forwards a chance. They spread from the contest really quickly, move the ball through the middle of the ground, and they got the ball flowing. Gives your forwards a massive chance against their defender.
So now it's over to Fraser. Hasn't got one tonight, but he might just have squeezed that one through. Saints back on level terms and back in it.
And when you've got power forwards like that, Das, you need to be able to utilise your strength. And your strength is get the ball in there quickly. They'll find their defender out because they're so big and strong and capable players. If you move it in slow, they're no chance.
You know, it was a little bit disappointing if you're a St Kilda fan. I thought there might have been 10 or 11 players get over to Fraser. It's been a big week for him. One or two teammates, but not a heap of passion and spirit. Yeah, Fraser Garrick's just kicked his first goal. We know he's been down. It was interesting to watch Vossi. I thought there'll be a swarm of St Kilda players, maybe 12 or 13 get over, give him a pat on the back. I reckon I saw 3 get to him. It's a bit of a bad sign.
It's Brennan Savage for Tassie, held him goalless last week, but he's escaped his clutches and finally kicked one. Advantage called here. Tucker's a long kick at the ball, even with the left side. Forced through. And the Tigers are back in front by a point, but St Kilda have closed the gap. And again, there is a high intensity level about this game. Hayes with Raf Clark becoming a factor for St Kilda. And now Montagna, who hasn't done much. He's been well contained by Chris Hyde. He gives to Schneider. St Kilda have kicked the only 2 goals of the quarter so far.
Yes, Montagna just 5. As Maguire gives them some run from behind. Saints with some momentum going. Tough one to handle that. Tuck got the spoil. Harvey. The only one to get clear was Harvey, and he might have set up Nick Riewoldt for his first of the night. And the Saints are in front. Season almost on the line stuff at half-time, we felt. And I'm sure Ross Lyon has laid down the challenge to them. And they are lifting here. And their big names are getting involved. Riewoldt with his first.
Spot on, Hutto. It's massive stakes for St Kilda tonight. They're the side that you expect to win. They're the side that all of us expected to be top 4. And it's their big guns, Harvey and Riewoldt. When they most need them standing up, Del Santos set up the last goal. Garrick kicked the last goal. So it's the old stages. They're not going to let this game get out of their grips.
Well, there's a good stat. And the Saints look hell-bent on changing that because they've come out smoking and kicked 3 goals on the trot here and lead by 5 points. Gauntlet now thrown down to Richmond. Another big clearance battle coming up here. Richmond have won them tonight. They don't win this one. Graham and now Montagna with a kind bounce is dangerous, and that's a pretty good ball. Just not the bounce Milne needed. Newman, his second opponent, leads him to the boundary line.
It didn't work out on that occasion, but gee, they looked dangerous when they looked up. They had Milne, Garrick, and Riewoldt. Very dangerous.
Tuck did the rucking and the roving. Couldn't get away with it cleanly. Riewoldt. Oh, he could get a free. Will get a free. McGraw didn't have his wits about him there. Obviously. He's trying to get up and battle through the pain.
I was about to say, if you're a coach and you just Luke McGuan here, it's just unnecessary. You've got to understand the game. That's going to be a free kick every day of the week. And this might sound cruel, but the only saving grace might be that he might have taken Nick Riewoldt out of the game.
Well, Riewoldt trying to fight through the pain.
Let's hope it all is that he's whacked his knee on the ground. It was a very, very big sling. He hasn't done any other structural damage to it.
So the umpire asking who the closest player was.
You right? Give it to him.
Been talking about him having tendinitis in the knee. If you bang that on the ground, that's what flares up a bit of pain. If he was in any doubt about the structure of his knee, he'd be off the ground now. So probably one of those ones he'll be able to run out.
And importantly, just how's it feeling for him right here? Because a goal would really send a message to the Tigers. Unfortunately, it fades.
He's coming straight off too, Hutto.
The danger was always going to be with the shot that on the plant, that left knee wouldn't quite hold up and have him perfectly balanced to execute the shot.
You wonder why he took the kick if he was going to come off anyway.
I don't think he was going to come off. I think he wanted to stay on, and so given the ultimatum, he took the kick and then realised it just wasn't right.
He's in pain. He is in serious pain when he came off. He's hurting.
Saints by a goal. Richardson's arriving here. Goddard bravely held front posse. Johnson to Schultz. Richardson again at the drop of the ball and high to left footer. Just never getting that on the right line. It's out on the full. St Kilda's ball. It's been the Saints' quarter so far.
Certainly has. Raf Clark takes it. That might change in a moment though. Cal Moore. Never diminishing circles, but he somehow found a way out and back to Tuck. Got Richo right across the ground here. Doesn't go for him. Thought he might have chanced the arm a bit. Instead it's Thursfield. All hands on deck for the Tigers. Defenders become forwards as there's again so many numbers inside the Tiger forward line, which, as we've seen already, can be quite effective for St Kilda if Richmond turn it over. Get an update on Nick Riewoldt for you as soon as we can. Time runs out for Tuck, forced to handball, not the result he was after. And now Montagna comes up with the spoils. That is a crucial turnover, and that could have been 50 potentially too.
Not potentially.
And Montagna not making a big effort to take the ball on the throwback, and that's probably the way the umpire read it. Harvey, as the Saints creep forward again. Ball in some space out there. Gehrig calls for it. He goes shorter than that. Charlie Gardner versus White. Let's get down to Christie.
Thanks, Anthony. Sign's not good for Nick Riewoldt. He limped straight off the ground and straight down to the rooms with the club doctor.
Well, that's a worry for them. The most important forward, Delidio. Well, Richmond wayward on the disposal again, and that's high, surely. Charlie Gardner, who's had a quiet night, will take the free kick, no matter the protests, and that's why Jake King having a mixed night. He's done some good things, but he's done some not so good. The former Cat, Gardner just beyond range, you'd think. Outside 50, lobs it close. Gehrig is up. Kajitsky. Oh, easy goal for Milne. His fourth of the night. The Saints are on a roll. And he has become a very important factor. He's kicked 4.
He looms as the most dangerous forward for St Kilda on the night. He's had a couple of opponents, King, and now there's his opponent Chris Newman, who went at the ruckman, and Milne stayed back cleverly, got the handball from Kazitsky. He looks dangerous tonight.
Nick Riewoldt is back out of the St Kilda rooms. You can see him there sitting on the bench, and they're just strapping up his knee. They've got the ice pack ready to go, so we'll see whether they put that on or not. So perhaps not such bad signs as we thought.
I'd love to get back out into the thick of it. His team, however, has really taken the initiative here. They lead by 12. Time for the Tigers to try and clamp them down because they're breaking loose out of the middle again. Good ball from Snyder for Gardner. Oh, he hit it so hard. Montagna, no free kick there. Ball, just hammered it on the boot. Gehrig, and it was carried just a fraction too far.
It's been great tonight, Luke. Ball, he's had 16 disposals. He won that footy off the line again. Good article during the week from Mark Robinson about the challenges he's faced being the number 2 draft pick in between Judd and also Hodge.
Newman up to the wing. Beautifully placed ball. It opens up for White. Now can he think his way through this? Simmons doubling back to the square. White had his head down and was really not aware of what was ahead of him, but in the end, no, not paid. Not paid to Schultz. And the Tiger fans furious. Goddard clean with hands. Things just bouncing St Kilda's way at the moment. As Burst delivers onto the wing, and on the counter-attack, here's Fisher.
Oh, beautiful kick by Burst. Awful hand pass Fisher, but Schneider gives to Harvey. Goes for ball. Now, I presume that was adjudged not 15. Thought Schultz got under the ball and took the mark. Long ball, Gardner, unattended. And St Kilda, having kicked 4 unanswered in this quarter, should now kick a 5th. Let's have a look. White's kick. That's 15, sure.
That's
line ball, but how that eventuated with Gardner, Newman actually slipped over. But also in the build-up to that, Del Sano again in the play, didn't touch the ball, but his chase was fantastic. And Luke Ball again on the burst. Those two players have been critical to St Kilda.
Charlie Gardner to make a mark. Important kick. He slots it. And it's the Saints by 3 goals.
Well, they got burnt on the turnover. The chase from Nick Del Santo was good, but I don't reckon it was a live ball, Vossi. I would be filthy if I was a Richmond supporter. And there's one there. He's saying...
That is you, I think.
Yeah, that would be me in another life if I happened to back for Richmond. This is 15 metres every day of the week. Come on. I mean, you can't not pay that.
That was 15.
You mentioned Luke Ball and the article on him in the paper today. Well, he's been superb tonight. 17 disposals and really generating plenty of contested footy, an area where they've been struggling.
Yeah, he has generated a lot of that. He has just been absolutely super tonight.
Suddenly the Saints lead by 18. That non-marked decision, crucial one for the Tigers. 2-goal turnaround. Hyde, slick hands out of the middle. Jackson's got Patterson away with some running support. The big man delivers nicely for Morton, who's been pretty quiet for most of the night. He's been buzzing around down there, but hasn't had a lot of the footy. 1 goal from 7 possessions.
Geez, they need the steadier just to be able to go back and drill this. St Kilda have almost done it against the flow of play, haven't they?
Kicked 2 or 3 goals in 6 of his 16 AFL games up until tonight. He can do the same here if he can slot this. It was pretty ugly looking, but Tiger fans won't complain. That's home for a goal.
Stephen Milne special, that was. That was the old Sticks floater, wasn't it? Tim, you'd be able to relate to that.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of Paul Medhurst on it as well. A Western Australian left to right.
Just a bit of float on it and it went straight, so give him the benefit of the doubt. Big Sticks used to kick them every week.
So the ice has come out. Icy cool shot from Mitch Morton, and Nick Riewoldt having the ice put on that knee. So we won't be seeing him for a while. Maybe in the last quarter if the Saints need him. Tigers have broken a run of 5 straight St Kilda goals. Michael Gardner in ruck against Simmons. That's a hard ball in there. Armitage did everything right except get his boot onto it. Now it's prized away from him. Hyde, hard worker. King to Brown. Possession number 19 for Nathan Brown. Patterson attacking it, coming the other way. Baker.
No advantage, Hyde. Was that time?
St Kilda's ball. Stephen Baker has a bit of history against the Tigers. There was a notable incident here not too many seasons ago that cost him a few weeks of his football life. His burst and Foley. It's just been an old-fashioned tagging job. And after a very good start, Foley has been curbed. Now Hayes. St Kilda's midfield doing much better as a group in this quarter. Sam Fisher. And it's Armitage again. Saints by 2 goals. Under 8 minutes to go in the third term. Won the quarter so far. They don't want to give it back now. Armitage goes very wide out on the full. That's a waste.
What will the impact of no Nick Riewoldt be, boys, on the game, do you think?
Well, he hasn't had an enormous influence to date, but it means that one of their defenders can switch over and take a less dangerous opponent. He's their captain, he's their best player, so it's not ideal.
Accommodating bounce for Richo. Brown's been quiet in this quarter. That's just his third possession. Graham almost the mark. But Delidio kept his feet, and some wonderful skills from Brett Delidio. Ambitious there from the big fellow. Patterson will be advantage downfield or across field to Tuck. Another injury for the Saints, perhaps, as we see Maguire come off. Hopefully he's okay. Just limping, though. We'll get Christie to check on that one in a moment. Tuck conceding ground. So the Tigers. White playing the lead-up role. Looks around. He's got Tambling buzzing around in the pocket. And I guess these are these young emerging Tigers that, if Richmond are to improve, have got to lead the way, and that applies tonight.
Well, we've certainly seen plenty of them. Seen some really exciting play from these Tigers.
6 goals, 2 for the season for Tambling. That not a great kick. And the margin is back to 11.
The Tigers have stopped the rot and still aren't far away. Long way to go in this match yet. It's been an intense struggle all night. Schneider for the Saints. Baker. Graham. Oh, this is a dangerous one. Armitage needed all his courage there. The eyes didn't leave the footy. Alas, the hands couldn't hang on to it. Schultz to McMahon. Well weighted. Clever spoil, Sam Fisher. Didn't concede the free kick and sets up Del Santo on those twinkle toes. Back to Fisher. Goddard now coming forward. St.Kilda building, but no Riewoldt there as their focal point. And they can't be relying on Milne to do the scoring all night. He's kicked 4 of their 12 goals. Kazitsky's come a long way from goal. And Luke Ball, oh, just didn't quite hang on. Milne might do some more scoring when he's hot. He is a dangerous man, and he nearly kicked his 5th. Saints by 12 points.
Had a fair piece of that mark, Luke Ball. Probably couldn't pay it in the end.
Could perhaps have paid
The free kick.
though. Nathan Brown treading some water. Nothing is emerging for him. He needs someone further afield to work hard. Instead, goes back for McMahon, and they'll try and work it out through the back to the same side they go to Hyde. They're almost handballed instinctively there. Simmons. Got a good lead up ahead from Riewoldt, but it was ignored. He went shorter than that to Newman. Riewoldt an option, but this is Morton, who had the confidence to take on Raf Clark, but then overdid the kick for Richo. And Edwards couldn't get there. So again, the imprecision of the Tigers.
Just a bit too Richo conscious there. There was a good option deep in the goal square. Edwards in a good position. Went to Richo.
Hayes got a knockout that time. Morton constrained well, but was able to get it out to Tuck. Inventive kick from Tuck. Oh, Richo, as he marked it. He has, as only Richo can. He's claiming it was in the square. Oh, and it was. So, an almost certain goal. These days with Richo, it is a certain goal. And it's back to a 6-point ball game.
Well, I can't wait to see the replay of this. Just grounds Fisher, sticks out the mid, and then it comes. That's why you come to the footy. See players like that.
And you'd have to say the mark was completed in the goal square. And that has been perhaps the contest of the night, on which there have been a number of one-on-one contests.
Down to Christie.
Tim, Matt Maguire's gone straight down to the St Kilda rooms as well. He took his left boot off and he was limping in quite a bit of pain. I'm not sure if that was the foot that he had the stress fractures in at the end of last year or not.
4 important minutes left in this quarter. The Tigers are hitting back. Here's White. It was a great effort a little while ago. This one is even better. It's all even at the Dome. That time he shook the shackles. And Ross Lyon has seen a 3-goal lead melt. And Richmond are coming hard.
Another hit out from Troy Simmons out of the centre of the ground. He's shown some great signs this bloke. He changes speed. Matthew White kicked another really good goal there in the game. They're exciting Richmond when they play this brand of footy, and a big worry for Richmond at the moment. Matt Maguire's off. We're not sure whether he's going to come back on. Riewoldt, I don't think he'll take any further part in the game. Gehrig is nowhere near 100% fitness. He's still coming back into the side. They could be down some serious runners, Vossi, and that'll hurt him in the last quarter.
And so does that stat.
Scores level. What a game this has been so far, and the promise is of so much more to come with the Saints 1 and potentially 2 down. Brown again, they're cutting its way through them at the moment. Johnson was on the wrong side and was lucky to not give away the free. Jackson may have and has.
Jeez, he's jumping well, Troy Simmons. Have a look at that. That is just pure athleticism. Done that all night. He's been fantastic.
Clark through the middle, just sets it up. Gardner got disposed of, but the umpire was happy to let it go. Ball's anticipation was great. The pressure was good from the forward 50, something that the Saints have not been traditionally all that good at, and their hard work might still result in a goal. They've got the extra man here. Harvey just couldn't keep his feet. Still they have an extra number. Raf Clark very cute with the pass. Fraser was aware, but it wasn't far enough. Clark kept it alive. Harvey, for a long time they had an extra man, and in the end it's created a goal from the old master.
He was fantastic, Robert Harvey there. That was after about the 3rd or 4th effort, and the little Robert Harvey shimmer that we know and have come to love, he puts on a display here. Just little shimmy and dobs it. Fantastic.
That's his trademark. Been out of shrug tackles. He's done it for 20 years.
A high moment amid a magnificent struggle. Foley now stands beside Harvey. For a moment it was tempting to say the Saints looked old as Harvey and Gehrig laboured for the ball, but the 366 gamer found something, kicked his 2nd goal of the night, put the Saints back in front, but for how long? Richo man arrives.
Yeah, great play. It was the kick from Delidio was fantastic. I reckon he had his best game ever last week at 30 disposals. And that's what they've got in them, that sort of speed and that sort of ability. They are dangerous.
He has 2. He has 3. He has his kicking boots right on. It's level again. What a battle this is.
It's a sensational contest. 2 desperate sides. Thought Simmons may have given away the free kick there, but huge build-up during the week, a lot of pressure, probably particularly on St Kilda, where they're both going at it flat out. Scores changed lead about a dozen times this game. It is going to be a massive last quarter.
At this next centre bounce, that last one just fell, we know. The Saints have to be able to rove off Simmons' hand. He is getting very clean hands around this ruck contest. Just to be able to change up something, they've got to rove off him.
What an atmosphere at the Dome. Success staff, Richmond fans in full voice. Saints fans hoping that their team can see off this terrific Tiger challenge tonight. It'll be tough for them, no Nick Riewoldt. Matt Maguire's still out of action. Kazitsky in the ruck, but this time it's the Tigers' turn to anticipate. Just out of Kane Johnson's reach, but good back up from Foley. And they can shake and get out of the clutches. Kane Johnson in the clear, goes for one man and one man only. Oh, Rizzo almost. Edwards, White. His luck runs out, holding the ball. He's been ambitious tonight and it's worked for him pretty well. Scores are level. Pretty important last minute or so to come in this third quarter. The Saints just holding things up and flicking the ball around.
Richo and Sam Fisher have been at it all night. You've got to give the honours to Richardson. That was an old-fashioned wrestle. The umpires normally pay a free kick one way or the other for those now. I don't think they dared just then. White. Jackson put the head into that. Raf Clark got him. Deledio. The skipper Johnson. Forced backwards. Moore. Simmons put the head down, gritted the teeth. Couldn't quite break. Jackson from a long way. Miscued, but it might be all right. Edwards had 2 goes. And he'll have a third, but Del Santo cut across his bow. Richmond in front by a point.
Only 30 seconds to go in this third quarter. The stage is set for one of the great last quarters that we've had in 2008. We think Riewoldt mightn't take any further part. Matt Maguire's gone down the interchange bench. St Kilda are down a couple of runners. 1 point margin. This is going to be a massive last quarter.
They'll need a massive effort from these midfielders. Del Santo and Ball, we've seen Hayes, Harvey. They've got to try and reverse the tide. Since quarter time, Richmond have won the centre breaks 15-3. And yet through the first 6 rounds of the season, Richmond were 15th team in the comp on clearances. St Kilda were 4th. We're going to go to three-quarter time with the Tigers 1 point in front. For St Kilda, this could be the difference between 5th and 12th on the table, and for the Tigers,
Ground, and he will start on the ground. He came out gritting his teeth, noticeably favouring that left foot, and he was quite surprised when he looked up at the board and a bit disappointed, I think, too, that it's so close. But he's back out on the ground, and Nick Del Santo, there's a bit of mystery surrounding him because he ran off the ground, spent all of that quarter in the break, but he is just about to come back on as well. So it looks like they do have a few men back.
Yeah, they just made some late changes, but they're still making changes to their lineup. And Matt Maguire has gone back off the ground, and you can see that Luke Ball has come back on. So we're ready to go. And we check the score at Amy, and Adelaide seem to have that one in hand. Massive last quarter for the Saints, a huge one for the Tigers. They're on the rise. Can they go on and win the game? Let's find out.
And Simmons is dominating in there against Kajitsky, but the big Saint did well to smother Tuck's kick.
So, Das, you're with the Tigers. You think that Tigers will win? What
Tigers
about you,
for me.
Vossi?
Well, I've certainly tipped the Saints, but I think at the moment that Richmond will win.
It's 5 years since they have beaten St Kilda. 9 encounters on the trot they've lost.
Will that be a factor? Will that be in the back of their minds at all or not?
No, I think once they're into the game,
now.
yeah, that's all gone. That's all history. It's about who can weather this last quarter the best.
So big takeaway here to get the ball rolling. St Kilda kicked the first 5 goals of the third quarter, but Richmond bounced back. Foley gets the kick. Montagna in the way. Told he had to go to Xavier Clark. Stratospheric ball. Charlie Gardner was never going to mark. Schneider stripped of it. Deledio pumping hand pass. White giving it back to him. Deledio lost it.
Well, the bounce just didn't come back to him the way it would have wanted, but that's the sort of play that you'd love to see from Deledio.
We're watching Troy Simmons' influence here, Das. You must have loved his game.
Oh, he's been fantastic. His jumping at the centre square bounce has been better than I've ever seen him in the past.
Free kick plucked out there to Shane Tuck, who didn't have any long options, so just gaining some territory, bringing Hyde into the action.
Das, just on Simmons, would you be rucking Kajitsky? Is it good for his footy?
I think with the right amount of work, Tim, I still believe he can be a great ruckman. He's getting beaten tonight.
Richo can beat 2 of them. Now he's just got to beat himself here and get the ball through.
Kaczynski athletically is a perfect matchup for Simmons. He can run, he's a strong body. He just hasn't played the amount of game time in the middle that Kaczynski has. Here's Richo. Hasn't he been good tonight?
We just saw the free and what it was paid for to Shane Tuck against Lenny Hayes. So Matthew Richardson. Richmond lead by 1. Oh, this is the new Richo. He never misses.
He also got the
lead by 7. Sorry, Vossi.
Sorry, and you also got to see in that vision also earlier, that little screen. That little screen just there was the reason why Richo was found on Baker, who could win that contest and go back and be good enough to kick that goal. But that's the team play that they've been able to generate the Tigers tonight.
Here's, as Richo start taking centre stage tonight, here's a stat. This is the scores that start from clearances. So when there's a stoppage of play and the ball goes cleanly to a score or a goal, and it heavily favours the Tigers tonight. They lead by 7. They are full of running.
The rates were about similar, but it favours them because they're winning so many more clearances. The Saints win this one and almost won it in style, which Nick Del Santo always shows. Here's Milne. He's kicked 4. He's got the carry, he's got the bounce, he's kicked 5. And this game's got everything.
It's an absolute beauty. They just respond, St Kilda. They know how important this is, and it's the stars that are doing it. Del Santo got the one out of the centre square. Robert Harvey kicked a beauty late in the third quarter when you needed it, and now Milne's kicked 5. They know how important this game is. It's going to go right down to the wire.
Oh, action wherever you look tonight at the Dome. 5 goals, 3 from Stephen Milne. He's become the key goal kicker in the absence of Jack Riewoldt, who, if you've just joined us, is off with a knee injury for the night. Simmons, it's a 1-point game. He's been the master in the middle, but the old master Harvey can still orchestrate some play. Montagne's been subdued. Milne looking to get on the end of another one. Oh, Fraser might lead him. 6 of the best for Stephen Milne. They're in front again.
Wow.
Well, that's his third opponent, Vossi. Kelvin Moore's got the job, and, well, it was just great play from Milne. He got involved in a wrestle. Hopefully we're going to get a really good view of this. Moore's got plenty of height, plenty of centimetres now. Watch Milne there. I thought he might have given away the free kick. At ground level, he's always going to beat Kelvin Moore. Well done, Milne. He's risen to the occasion tonight.
And I'll tell you where it has started, though, Das. It started in the middle. St Kilda players are really competing. Kaczynski is really trying to jump into Simmons and trying to bring the ball to ground just to give him a 50-50 ball.
Del Santo's been big in there as well.
For a moment, silence reigns. We're all in awe of what has been a great match, a gripping contest. St Kilda back in front. A win to Simmons, but a takeaway by the Saints. Hayes to Clark. Now ball against King. Big contest. Boundary line close. Staying alive. Now it's not. Throw in. Jake King, irrepressible, indomitable.
It was Lenny Hayes at the clearance before. It's great to see these old, proud players of St Kilda. Well, they're not that old, but they're proud. That's Hayes and Ball.
Big win for Simmons. Not a nice kick, though, for Tambling. And Xavier Clark lifting himself here. Good mark. Helped win that clearance a moment ago. St Kilda lifting. And away he goes. Going to press. Push, and Luke Ball almost had that. Milne knocked down by Moore. It's a big night for Stephen Milne tonight. Richmond under pressure. King getting his body over it. Moore. Now McMahon and McGuan slipping away from Gehrig. And Richmond will complete a clearance.
Good composed footy, wasn't it, from McMahon there under pressure. Trusted his deadly left boot, and the Tigers take a breath.
How dangerous is Milne? He just, every time the footy's in his area, he's got that excited look on his face.
Tambling, an open forward line still ahead if they can kick cleanly to position, which they can on the first attempt. Riewoldt got a bit of a push there. That would have been 50 sometimes. You never quite know. Riewoldt, it was all right in the end too for White. Saints have had the time to get some numbers back. Richo's still a one-on-one proposition deep with Fisher. And it's something you might just about think about. And he doesn't go for it. Instead to Jackson.
There's still a bit of space there, though.
Kazitsky's just sweating off him a fraction, down about 20 metres out from goal. Patterson also pushing, so Richo goes to the other pocket. Surely not! No.
Saints players were a little slow getting back then, and that's how that one-on-one contest eventuated. We've got another Saint that is limping. They're having a horrid run with that.
The Saints wear a badge on the left breast of their jumper, you'll notice, and that actually became a part of their uniform after a famous game in the early 1930s, I think it was, when they were down a couple of men below the normal number, and to reward the players for their courage and to remind supporters of that occasion, the badge was put on the breast of the Guernsey. Might be a similar sort of night tonight. Season's hanging on this. Kazitsky is loose. He can set himself up for the shot or the pass, and he did it beautifully, and Charlie Gardner should finish the job.
I'm just trying to work out how Justin Kazitsky got so much space. Xavier Clark's gone off. He looks in a lot of trouble.
And going up the race also.
So that's another man down. That could mean that they've got only one on the interchange bench. Kazitsky got free. And there's Terry Wallace on the phone saying, how did that happen? I think it might have been an interchange mix-up.
Maguire is back, Darson, back out there.
He's torn something.
Gardner has one. He kicks his second. The Saints lead by 10 points. It's a classic.
It is a classic, and hats off to the Saints, I have to say, because they are going down. Xavier Clark looks like he's pulled up short there with some sort of hamstring of some sort, and they still keep going. This may be a significant moment in their season for St Kilda. And what we've seen at the centre bounces is the ruckmen have been able to read off the Richmond's hands. The ground level players have been able to read it off the Richmond's hands. Ruckman, the last couple of occasions, so we'll see whether that happens again.
So many components to this match tonight. Xavier Clark joining Nick Riewoldt on the casualty list. The margin, though, is 10. Can they keep this intensity up? Both sides. You'd think they'd have to wilt at some stage. Patterson somehow released from Johnson to Brown to McMahon. Could go short to Hyde. He wants a longer option. He perhaps should have gone for the shorter one. Got up. Uncontested. For ball. And the loose man is on over the top. So the Saints should be able to get it to the wing and then perhaps beyond, because Kazitsky is still on his own. Out here on the wing now, there's a whistle off play.
Free kick. Go, ball, go. I've got it.
Lee Montagna's going to get the free kick. Chris Hyde has done an enormous job on Lee Montagna. He's kept him to only 9 possessions. And a bit of frustration boiling over there.
Gehrig is deep. Goes a little shorter than that. Milne's going to have to go here. He couldn't really. And Newman takes the mark. And the Tigers wind it up again and take it the city side of the dome.
Well, it's far from over. St Kilda kicked away to that 3-goal lead in the third quarter, and it was Richmond running on at the end of the term, and you could imagine the same sort of thing happening here. Tambling told he's gone, he's got to play on. Awkward left foot kick, hoping for Jack Riewoldt perhaps, or Delidio, and between them they come away. Delidio to Jackson. Tambling, Tigers frozen for a moment. Nathan Brown, experienced, skillful, beautiful left foot on him. Takes the best of many great ones tonight.
The Richo man, he's just a genius. God, he's in good form, isn't he, Bossy?
He sure is. His anticipation, his clean hands, his willingness to get involved in the contest. It's awesome seeing him play like this.
Wasting no time with his kicking these days. His confidence is up, and he's cashing in, and he's kicked 5, and the Tigers are back within 4 points.
Just can't believe how good a game this is. It's just a joy to sit here and watch it. Stephen Milne down one end is playing the best game I've seen him play. This man here started on the wing and got the first possession of the game just about. How about that?
Just launched himself.
33 years old. Wish I was moving that well when I last played.
Oh, what a game. 5 goals won, 13 marks, 20 disposals.
And there's Stephen Milne. He's gone back to Chris Hyde, so it's his fourth opponent. Sorry, that's Chris Newman back again. I think he's the best matchup.
How are you guys going with your voting for the Ian Stewart medal?
It's getting tougher by the minute.
Patterson for Foley. Tigers out of the middle. Every kick, every mark, every possession, absolutely crucial. We're all under scrutiny.
Both were there and then you wanted to pull a jumper.
Well, where's Richo? Because this footy's going to go in his area.
And the Saints will know that too. Can they be too Richo conscious, the Tigers, and he doesn't go for Richo. Tuck was a target. He might go for Richo next time after that result. Although the Snyder hand pass opens the door for Nathan Brown. Normally adept on either side. Works it back via Moore. And now Jake King, full of enthusiasm, full of run. A lovely lunge, though, from young Armitage. Really affected the kick. And 40,580 people watch on, and most of them watching that man for much of the night. He's still got a few old habits that die hard.
I'm shocked, Hutto. You can't have too much Richo. How could you suggest it? But I understand your point. Harvey to Kajitsky playing an important role for St Kilda in this last quarter, which hasn't reached its halfway point yet. Kajitsky has to go, so he goes long. Oh, good mark. Fine mark, Riewoldt. Oh, terrible kick. Schneider. And he has Charlie Gardner running into space. And the ball sitting up obligingly. He's got a call in close from Goddard, who's come forward from the back half of the ground with initiative and daring, and he can go back and line them up.
Well, they're all big kicks. They're all big kicks at this point of the game. But just to be out, Richmond have just gone a bit of flow. The crowd's got involved again. This is just a very big kick just to settle everything down again.
For the #1 draft pick, big moment for him. Starts right, way right. Saints lead us 5. It could have been 10. Brendan Goddard making a good return from a knee reconstruction. But a lot of footy left in the last 10.5 minutes here.
Simmons. Morton up. Plenty coming off the bench. One of them, Kane Johnson. And he just was able to recover the kick. Doesn't like anything. He tried to get it through to Richo through the maze. Daniel Jackson made the ball his only target. Unfortunately, though, his disposal let him down. Riewoldt dumping Nick Del Santo and hurting him, I think.
It's been the Tigers all night, haven't it? That kick from Kane Johnson was an absolute floater. Have a look at the contested possession stats there. They are 40 in front. That is an absolute smashing.
Simmons, White and Graham.
And the Tigers playing as though Terry Wallace said, you win the contested possessions, you'll win this match.
Glenn Lufter, stats genius from Champion Data. He thinks that no side would have ever lost with that much of a differentiation. If you win the contested possession by that much, you can't lose.
Kazitsky with the tap. Simmons, though, with the last word on the stoppage. Morton not quite. Tambling and Raf Clark, who missed it. Tambling now has the onus on him to get it out after diving on it. Be interesting to see the way this game is umpired over the last 10 minutes as well. There is a lot of tired boys out there. The Saints down to 20. Simmons does the ruck work again and controlling it.
Graham levering it out. Armitage, Harvey. Forced very wide. Saints had liked the line, I fancy. McMahon and Schneider, and it just crossed. With Gary Goff, as we just saw, Michael Gardner is standing up at full forward for St Kilda. Played there, of course, in a grand final. unsuccessfully, you'd have to say, in 2005 when West Coast lost to Sydney. Here go the Tigers. Shane Tuck been a good four-quarter contributor. Morton clean bowled. Edwards gives it back to him. And the former Eagle just misses Schultz. Out comes Richo. He'll try and do it on his own. And I'll tell you what, he just might. If not, he'll get it to Batman's mate Robin, who puts the Tigers back in front.
How good is this game? It's got everything. Look at Richo just storming through the don't argue. He tried to pass it off. It was unselfish. Thought he might have had a shot at goal. Well, that's the man that you want with the footy in that situation. He was always going to kick that. He's been fantastic tonight, Nathan Brown.
The boys from Gotham City have done it again.
Boy wonder.
The margin is 1. Meanwhile, back in the centre, the two ruckmen ready to go at it. Simmons and Kazitsky. Simmons didn't rush when the bounce went askew.
It's a pretty smart play by Troy Simmons there, because he was out of position and he nearly actually roved the hit out from Kazitsky.
He is having a stellar night. 19 possessions, 2 goals. There's Justin Kazitsky. The debate rages about where his best position is for the Saints at the moment. He's spiking the ball forward. Brisbane Lions like from your era, Vossi, trying to gain some territory. Well done from Tamlin, was able to ride it out. Jackson's going long. No question where he's going to. Brown. There are some very tired boys out there.
Tigers pressing, looking the fresher, stronger. St Kilda without a tall forward at the moment. It's not really a factor right now because they're battling to get the ball out of their back half. Goddard. Under 8 minutes. The ball hanging in the air. There's a whistle. Free kick to St Kilda. Montagna to take it up forward of the centre line. That's a great outcome for the Saints. Kazitsky's gone forward, and he might be the target here. Jason Graham is a long kick. He goes for Big Cozzy, and he couldn't quite hang on. Newman. McGuan. White. Wrapped up. Newman did well to control it. Great kick. Beautiful kick to Delidio. Tigers in front. And with the tide, Brent Delidio. For Schultz, comprehensively outmarked by Maguire. Maxie Hutchton would be applauding that. Schneider, that's a lovely kick. Dangerous counter-attack here. The former Bulldog Shane Burse, and Milne brings up a divot and can go back and line up for his 7th goal.
Had everything in this game. It's just end-to-end footy. Really good kick from Shane Burse. Waited and gave Milne a chance to double lead, and he was able to get rid of his opponent.
Don't know how you're going with your voting there, Das, but you go from Brown to Richardson, Simmons, Milne.
He's put it right across the face for nothing. Richmond's ball. He's kicked 6. It's his best return since he kicked 11, Vossi, against Brisbane in round 22, 2005.
Suddenly the world caving in a little on Thursfield here. He might wish he had have conceded. He didn't panic. The danger hasn't passed yet. Newman refusing to yield. And it's over and out, but that was not too convincing, and body language can be very important, boys, in the final stretch. It's a little mini win to the Saints. Plenty of work being done in the Batcave by Terry Wallace. Goddard, great clearance, but out on the full.
With some tension in that box.
Chris Newman. This is where the skills get tested, doesn't it? Late in the game, fatigue setting in.
And that hasn't been their forte tonight, kicking skills, Richmond. They're down this quarter to 54% efficiency, which is just horrible.
Well, that time it was the marking attempt rather than the kick that was the problem. Jackson, have they got out
second
of it?
effort.
They have. White for Tuck. Nothing to go to. He just blasts away, hit and hope stuff. He's down, but the Tigers are not out. Richo, almost. Dempster a clean pair of heels. And Richmond are one man down here. The Saints can win the control of the footy, and they've done that by referee. Delio coming off.
Look at this. Both players, eyes on the footy, sensational.
Let's get back to the action though. Burrs inserts them. Milne again!
Just brings back memories of, I think Chris Hyde had his skull fractured in a match against St Kilda in a similar sort of contest. Unflinching courage, what makes the game great, but it can also make it very dangerous.
Number 7 for Stephen Milne, and the Saints are back in front in this extraordinary contest. Saturday night footy at its very best, and Stephen Milne with 7 goals. Let's look at his night. That's his 7th, and he's popped up everywhere, boys.
He's been amazing. The Ian Stewart medal is going to be one of the hardest votes, and throwing probably the Sonny Bravia as well. Milne might have just sneaked ahead on my votes. He's been unbelievable. Going back to that courage though from Brett Delidio, sometimes that can make your career. That can just put the stamp on your game. You say, I know I can do it at this level, and well done to him. It was a brilliant effort.
And this has been a magnificent effort from Stephen Milne. He really has had to keep a battling forward half afloat, and he's done it. He's done it almost on his own.
And the new opponent also.
Well, they've had 5 different goes at him tonight. Gardner the first hand on that for the Saints. We're in red time. St Kilda and Richmond, the winner will be in the 8. Early days, of course. Hyde has done a mighty job on Montagna. He might be the match winner. Stephen Milne. Then again at the other end there's a bloke named Richo. And this game has minutes and seconds left yet. Here's Tambling. Tigers away. White takes the long path. Sets it up. Graham did just enough in front to deny Morton, and the Saints hang on. Good hands, Lenny Hayes. Harvey running forward, so's Del Santo. And the 3 mainstays of the midfield do it beautifully. Oh, and here's one to bring a tear to the eye of the sentimentalists as the G train's got it in the dying minutes. Too far out. Play on is the call. And he misses the target. He runs right through the station. Newman to King. Danger here for Richmond. Patterson. Whistle. Now it's play on. And Jackson's away for the Tigers. Got to find targets here. Troy Simmons. Good kick at the ball. But under the heat, missed Tambling. He mops it up. Goes for Brown. Dempster with him. Hyde and Montagna. Shoulder to shoulder all night. Dempster. Montagna. The line, the throw-in.
There's the tension in the ground. Not much the coach can do. He's just got to sit back now and let the players do their best.
The squeeze is on. Saints in front just. Tigers in attack. Hyde, straight up and down. Tired bodies. Every last strain, digging deep. Richo waits down. Somehow finds a way. Nathan Brown.
Oh, that is amazing. This is what you come to the footy for. The intensity.
Look at that. Oh, nearly bounced the other way.
It might just about rule the draw out of the equation. Oh, that might be 50. No 50. No 50. Boy, I've seen them paid for less. It was accidental, but they're often paid. Shane Tuck arriving late. Hayes have taken the mark.
Well, he wasn't in the contest.
Patterson it was.
He wasn't in the contest.
He apologised, though.
Gee, they'll put the 50 away tonight. Hayes to the wing. Important ball here. Schneider gains valuable metres for the Saints. If they can kick another goal, you'd think they'd win it. Ball up.
Good draw. Good draw.
It's been pretty well umpired, you'd say.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Let most of it go. This is a big clearance here.
Saints with their noses in front. Kuzitsky's risen in the last quarter. Luke Ball can't get it out.
There's been 7 goals in this last quarter, so from that you would think there's a little bit more time. Certainly time enough for Richmond. The consequences for the coach and the club, particularly for the Saints, are huge. The margin is 5. Milne is waiting in the goal square. If the Saints can get it there. The onus, though, is on Richmond to try and clear it out of here.
What do you do here, Rossi? If you're a Richmond player, do you smash one back into the corridor and be bold enough to try and win, or do you think there's more time?
Not from here. They've got to be able to win the contest. Yeah, sure, be bold, but not quite back into the middle.
The margin is 4. Jackson getting it down. White can't escape Luke Ball, and this will suit the Saints.
Time for a third man up and around the contest here, isn't it? I reckon someone's got to take the initiative, tee up a teammate at ground level. Spot on to us, try and win the game.
Richo at centre half forward. Will he be tempted to go up to the play? Try and have the last say.
Yeah, someone does have to get on the move. Just get it out into space. Anything can happen from there.
Jack Riewoldt watching on helplessly from the sidelines. Terry Wallace working the phones.
There we go on the move.
Newman was able to get it clear. Kane Johnson along the line. Will it stay in? Got it. Oh, that's a great mark. He's come back from the dead, Delidio.
Pair of number 1 draft picks in that one-on-one.
High ball. Brown from behind. Oh, it's the one that brilliant. More. The defender has taken the grab, and he has the chance to be the match winner.
He launched himself, Kelvin Moore, and I'm just so happy for Brett Delidio before, because he showed one of the most courageous acts of the season before, put his body on the line. He's come back on bravely, taking a contested mark, and now this man, how nervous will he be?
Kicked 8 goals in his career. 8 goals, 6. Kelvin Moore, the knot in the stomach, has... Oh, it's still there, he's missed, hit the post. Disbelief for the Tiger fans.
If ever there was a defender's kick. Ball coming back.
Well, they've got to get man-on-man here from the kick out. They've had heaps of time. Terry Wallace, he knows what the time clock is.
They do. They've just got the free man at the moment.
Now, what does Raf Clark do? He hasn't got a loose man. He'll have to kick into a contested situation. This could be the one that decides it. And Richmond win it away. Foley placing it well, and Riewoldt. More than 50 out. Wants to get it off. The goal is now guarded. He was tempted to go for it. Can he kick 55 and more after the siren for a win? What a test of a young man's nerve.
Every kid's dream.
He's 19 years of age. He's played a handful of games. This is his moment. Jack Riewoldt. It hasn't got enough. The Saints have won. The Saints are home.